Listener-supported public radio from Kirkwood Community College. Jazz 88.3 KCCK, Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. From his release Quartet Sessions, Chad Lefkowitz-Brown there taking the lead on some Caravan for us this morning. Good morning. I'm Hollis Monroe. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And Chad is going to be with the Kirkwood Instrumental Jazz Ensembles with the Cedar Rapids Jazz Big Band tomorrow night, Ballantine Auditorium, Kirkwood Community College at 7:30 p.m., and I am so very lucky to have Mr. Brown and Joe Perea with me this morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Hollis.
Good morning, Hollis. Thanks so much for having me here.
Oh, my pleasure. Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, first of all, I know that so much information you get about a soloist before they get here is really sort of anecdotal. So I don't know exactly what is a true truth and what is not. I understand that you started playing the sax at the age of 9, taught by your dad?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And that early on you learned that you didn't really care for the method books. And so your dad taught you the joy of improvisation.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was really fortunate. My dad was a band director and music teacher. And so, he sort of went through the typical start, with a student, showing me some elementary method books. And I thought it was really boring, but he was able to take liberties with me because he didn't have to report to my parents about how things were going. So he just started, kind of using me as his little improvisational experiment, I think. And I think things have turned out okay ever since.
I do believe so. I mean, you were called a phenom by the time you were 11.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for sure.
What was it like starting out that young performing?
It was great, and I was really fortunate that beyond just the mentorship from my dad, I was able to work with an incredible drummer named George Reed in the Elmira, New York area. And George played with all sorts of greats like Teddy Wilson, everyone from Teddy Wilson to Marion McPartland, back when he lived in New York City, and ended up spending the greater part of his life in upstate New York. So I was really fortunate that he was around, and I worked a lot at a jazz club that was open at that time called Green Pastures. And I was just so fortunate to have that sort of real experience playing the music out in the club. So at a young age. So without that, I wouldn't have, I think, fallen in love with the music like I did.
And you went on to pursue your formal education at the Brubeck Institute.
Yes.
A great fellowship program created by the legendary Dave Brubeck.
Yeah.
And was it there that you started performing regularly with Brubeck?
Yeah, totally. I was so fortunate in that when I went to the program, Dave was still alive, and we got to open for his band a lot, and sometimes sit in with him, and yeah, it was a really awesome experience just hearing so many stories, and he would impart wisdom on everything from our original compositions to how we were playing standards, and yeah, it was I'm really grateful for that experience for sure.
So, what brings you to our friendly shores? How did this all come about?
For sure. Well, maybe
Joe
could jump in there.
Yeah, sure. So every semester we are pleased to host outstanding guest artists here at Kirkwood to perform with our jazz ensemble and with the CR Jazz Big Band. Sometimes on semesters where we have student combos, we have them involved as well. And it just so worked out that one of my students takes lessons over Skype through Chad's program. Oh. And he said, "Hey, have you thought about bringing Chad LB into town?" And I said, "That is a brilliant idea." And I contacted Austin, his manager, and the rest is history. It worked out. We've got him here, and we're thrilled to be presenting some of these fantastic charts composed or arranged by Stephen Feifke that were done for these. How do you describe them? They're multi-panel videos that were all recorded in isolation during pandemic, and then after.
we did a crazy thing. We made 2 big band albums,
during quarantine.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought it was a nice opportunity to do that. Obviously, terrible circumstances, but we felt that by nature of big band being so thoroughly arranged, And the ratio of improvisation, to arrangement, is a lot higher towards arrangement with a big band as compared to a quartet. And so we said, well, you know what, like everybody's getting set up to record remotely during this time since we were all in quarantine, so we decided to take advantage of it and make 2 big band albums, actually. It was a lot of fun.
Well, excellent. Now, you probably picked up from Joe that we are very big on jazz education around these parts.
Sure.
And we have Schoolhouse Jazz, our junior high jazz band camp, and, of course, Quarto Jazz. I understand that you are very, very much into education as well.
Yeah. We on our YouTube channel have put out a lot of content and resources for people to learn about jazz improvisation. More specifically, more developed players usually, but yeah, we've covered concepts from how to transcribe jazz vocabulary to how to use pentatonics in your solos, all sorts of stuff, and that also was an opportunity that we took during quarantine, just because I was for 2 years I was not touring at all, and ever since we haven't been on it in the same way, just now that I'm back to performing, but yeah, it was a nice opportunity to just pass on and share the things that I've learned over the years.
Well, wonderful. Tell me about this program coming up tomorrow night, gentlemen.
So we're going to hear from 2 groups, the Kirkwood Jazz Ensemble, which is our student group, mostly students with a few community members to help fill out the ranks. And they'll be playing a couple of tunes of their own, and then Chad will join us, and we've got 3 songs with him. And then you see our jazz big band, which is our longtime community group with long history of playing with some fantastic artists over the years, and they'll play the second half, similar structure, 2 tunes of their own, and 3 with Chad, including this wonderful arrangement of Night in Tunisia, which unfortunately we didn't have the budget to bring Arturo Sandoval on board, so our lead alto has gladly stepped in that role.
Now, I'm curious about your next project, Chad. As a matter of fact, are you going to go back to the global big band, or do you have something else in mind?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. I've put out 9 albums as a leader at this point. So the next one will be the 10th. I've been so enjoying just going back to performing ever since things have opened up again. I spent about half of the year on the road, up in the air, and I've just sort of enjoyed focusing on the live element. After not playing a live show for almost 2 years, so I'm just sort of basking in the glory of playing for people again, and haven't thought that much about what we're going to do back in the studio, but I'm sure it will happen in the next couple of years for sure.
And you can continue as well, I imagine, to provide education opportunities as well.
Yeah, for sure. We at this point we just have a large catalog that we've put out with publishing company Jazz Lesson Videos that I founded with Austin a few years back, and yeah, I think we have like almost 30 books and like 5 courses and just all sorts of things. So yeah. So that's all still available, and it was really great, as I mentioned, during those couple of years off the road where we took the opportunity to just sort of put out the things that I've learned. It's just passing it on. Yeah.
Well, one last question. It'd be presumptive of me to assume that you focus on improv, but it would also be remiss of me not to.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah, mainly improvisation. There is, some saxophone-specific things that I have out there, but yeah, it's mainly on improvisation and techniques, concepts to better your playing there, and we pride ourselves on making it affordable for everyone as well, during a time when jazz education has gotten really expensive, in private institutions specifically, so we try to make it accessible for all.
Well, we really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Folks, the Kirkwood Instrumental Jazz Ensembles and the Cedar Rapids Jazz Big Band taking the stage with the great Chad Lefkowitz-Brown tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. in Ballantyne Auditorium, Kirkwood Community College in Cedar Rapids. Is a show you do not want to miss. Chad, thank you so much for dropping by. You and Joe, thank you so very much, gentlemen.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.